Okay, everybody, buckle up. We're about to start our Crawlspace tour here on a 1923 built house. So if you've never been in a Crawlspace before, you're probably wondering what it's like and what am I looking for when I'm inspecting a house in the Crawlspace. Well, let me show you something. There's a lot going on here that has to be looked at. As you can see, it's very dirty and dusty under here. Okay, right here on the left, we have foundation anchoring, which is anchoring the wood sill plate for the floor framing to the actual concrete foundation. The lower strap is a old repair. So maybe the corner started cracking and they put that strapping there and they bolted it in. That's how a typical foundation repair looks. Right here, I'm just taking a look at the electrical conduit and the copper pipe and what looks like galvanized pipe as well. And right there's a black iron gas pipe. And of course, I'm looking at the floor framing system as well. Right here, it looks like somebody took a piece of a sign and used it underneath the house. That's interesting. Don't see that every day. Okay, so now we're coming up ahead on some more foundation anchoring plates. The shiny silver plates. And let's see what else is going on over there. Well, we got some T-strapping. So this is basically when the anchoring plates are put in place to connect the sill plate to the foundation. Now we typically call that a retrofit. Right here is a foundation crack. And that's a decent sized crack. And as you can see, they strapped it and bolted it. But they should have epoxied it so water doesn't leak in from the outside. That's the only thing missing there is the epoxy. It's pretty standard stuff under this age of a house. And right here you can see that they did some wood repair right there on the cripple wall. And it looks like there's some debris in front of us here on the ground. Look at all that dead wood there. Yeah, it looks like they did a repair at one point. There's a little bit of damage there and a daddy long leg spider. I don't know if you saw that. But don't worry, they're harmless. Right there's the base of the chimney. That's what it looks like in the crawl space. And the floor framing looks good. I mean, for such an old building. There's a lot of staining, like black staining and white staining. That's very typical. You're not going to go under a house this old and not see stained floorboards from the crawl space view. It's just not going to happen. Coming up here, we got another foundation crack right there. And, we got some more anchoring, which is good. A lot more anchoring over here as well. It's great. See all the staining up there, the black and the white. It's pretty common. These homes have been here for so long. There's going to be a leak eventually in the house. Usually it takes people a long time to find a leak in a house because they don't know what's going on. That's why you get all these stains. So this is normal. The look of all of this is pretty normal for a home built in the 1920s. And that brick thing on the right, that's a vent. That's the vent out the air. And right here we have anchoring. This is new anchoring. And this is because somebody repaired the cripple wall. Cripple wall is that little tiny wall between the floor and the concrete foundation. As you can see, they put all new boards in there and new cripple walls. So that's good. Somebody did a repair. And they anchored it very well. So there's a lot of anchor bolts right there. That's actually a lot of anchor bolts in that small area. So they kind of overdid it. And there's a lot of leaves under this crawl space. Can't figure out how they get in there. See that? A lot of leaves. Interesting. Okay, so coming up here on the right, see that white film on the concrete? That's called efflorescence. And that's an indication of moisture coming in from the exterior. But you're going to see this on any old house. Efflorescence is a very, very common thing to find. And this vent pipe in front of us here, that's for the furnace. So they upgraded the furnace exhaust. This house has an old floor furnace in it, which we'll get to. So they did a nice job on that furnace exhaust. It's all strapped up nicely. It's looks pretty well installed. And over here we got some new wire, the orange wire there, electrical wiring. It's like a low bridge here, so I got to go around that. Right here we got some copper pipe and we got some black ABS plastic. So some of the drain pipe's been upgraded. And this white pipe on the ground here, this is what's called asbestos. That's called transite pipe, and it's known to contain asbestos. I know this because I actually had it tested before. You might have seen that in one of my other videos. Now we're coming up on a bathroom area. This is where the drain pipe is. So on the right there, the black drain pipe, you got a mixture of cast iron and ABS plastic. So some of this has been replaced because the ABS plastic is the newer material. And then right here, check out this plumbing right here. They got the wrong fittings. They got a 2 90s on this right here. That's the wrong fitting. And then they got this PEX pipe just hanging down. It's not even strapped anywhere. A little bit of Mickey Mouse work here, which is what I typically find under just about every house. Yeah, that white PEX pipe, water supply pipe should be supported. It's just hanging there. That's just really poorly installed. So hang on, we're going to jump this pipe. Got to rev it up. Got to rev up the crawl bot and jump it. Ready? Here we go. See all the debris in there? Wow, that's a lot of debris. All right, good news. You made it over the pipe. So right here we got a lot of drain pipe corrosion. That's old cast iron. Those are called rust pimples. All those little rust like pimples sticking off the pipe. And we got some poor framing support there. That's not done right at all. That's totally wrong. So got a lot of Mickey Mouse repairs under here. And a lot of this galvanized, cast iron pipe right here is in really bad shape. Look at all that corrosion. It's just waiting to leak. So got to get ahead of that. And look at this wood framing support. Another bad install. So let's jump the pipe again, get out of here. All right, and look at all the debris in this crawl space. There's stuff everywhere. There's pipes, there's wood laying around, there's all kinds of debris in here. This is from lazy contractors coming under here, doing repairs, and leaving all the old materials behind. That's just so unprofessional. I would not let someone do that working on my house. It's a real pain in the butt when you're trying to get under here and do some work. You end up cutting yourself on these pipes or whatever else is laying on the ground, like nails and screws. So you can see there's a lot of debris on that ground there. And I see some more wood support upgrades that are incorrect. So let's jump this pipe. Boom. All right, we're in. So there's the other side of that cast iron pipe that's all corroded. Look at these supports right here. These piers are supposed to be sitting on 12 inches of concrete, and they're not. They're just sitting on the dirt. So what I mean by concrete piers is that right there. Those should be sitting on concrete poured into the dirt, at least 12 inches deep. But they're not. They're just sitting on the soil. So whoever put those in did not do it correctly, which I'm not surprised to see. Happens a lot. And look at all that debris over there. Pipes, all that stuff. Just stuff everywhere. Very dirty crawl space. Not all crawl spaces are like this, but this one is. All right, let's go make a right turn here. See what we got. Okay, we got some electrical that's just hanging there. It's poorly supported. Got some exposed wire from the old wiring. Got some, looks like telephone wire hanging there. Just kind of scanning around looking for areas to go to keep the inspection going. All right, so go back the other direction again. Some of these beams are really low, so you can't get under all the beams. Sometimes I have to go find another way into an area. In some areas, you can't even get into. There's that asbestos pipe again. Okay, so now we're going towards... this is where the furnace is, the floor furnace connection is to the exhaust pipe. So that big box right there, that's the floor furnace. And if you're inside the house, you look down, there's a grill in the floor. That's what this is connected to. It's a gravity floor furnace, which means the heat just rises by itself. And as you can see, there's a piece of metal between the wood beam and the exhaust pipe, and you can see all the charring on there. So that's just an old furnace, and yeah, that's a combustible clearance issue right there. So I'm surprised the guy who installed this new vent pipe did not address that better. And different crawl spaces have different soil. So sometimes you have really rocky soil, like up in La Cañada area. There's all kinds of rocks under those houses up there. But some areas it's real sandy, like in Burbank, California. It's like this crawl space is really smooth and sandy. It's very dusty. But it depends on where you are. So this here was a typical looking crawl space for like the 1920s. Nothing excessive here, but there are some defects that I did point out in this report. I hope you enjoyed your crawl space tour. See you on the next one.